so we can go upstairs. Stay downstairs for right now. Plants are covered with dust. Oh, there's a box troll. And, kid with a bag on his head. Baghead. Bunch of lockers. That's kind of weird. Oh, that's right. This is an orphan. So yeah, it's not weird. Oh, I'm back at the paint. Alright, so Baghead was there. I went through there. So it's up the stairs we go. Reception room. Red roses are arranged in a vase. They're vibrant and fresh. It's a grand fireplace, but it seems no one has touched it for a long time.
I wonder how long this game is.
Record player is broken. And right now, the story doesn't warrant it to be more than like maybe a 10-hour game, tops. I wonder if it's got like multiple endings.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Most of these games do.
Expensive editions. There's that pin. There are doodles all over the portrait. Headmaster's room. Small model of a mansion inside the tank, but no fish. Something is written in the notebook. March 2nd.
No, but I guess just real quick, I'll mention, because I mentioned on the first video about how I acquired this game. We go out every now and again. We used to, at least, go out every now and again and just kind of go, thrifting and stuff, which I guess a lot of people do these days. And we've gone to this one pawn shop a couple times or whatever, and these have got pretty decent deals, like PlayStation games, 2 games, $5, and Xbox 360 PS3 games, what, $10 like that? Just like that for them? $8
yeah.
Or whatever. And we've been there, let's say 4 times at this point. And we're just looking through the rack of PlayStation 2 games. And I just looked at one of them, and actually Ken's right next to me. And I looked right down at it, and I saw this. I just saw it. I couldn't believe it. I immediately grabbed it, a la the Game Chasers or whatever, and turned around and just looked at him. He said, "Dude, what'd you find?" And I just showed him, and he was like, "I could not believe it." And it's so funny because we talk about all the time about how there is people these days that are selling games. Of course, we all know that games are such a high commodity these days, and everybody and their grandmother knows, hey, video games, money, dollar signs. And it's just so funny because there's a lot of people out there that's all they know. Oh, Nintendo? Money. It's like, yeah, but it's Mario Duck Hunt. Nintendo? Money. You give me $25. Like, no, you don't understand. If it says Nintendo, it doesn't necessarily always mean Nintendo, $25. So it's just funny because this place had some stuff, like, had some DS games or whatever, Zelda, all this kind of stuff in their little case, $15 or more. And then right outside, right in their little area, across the counter, there's Rule of Rose sitting right there. Now, it's funny because we were just talking off camera about how, this may not, certainly Ken's even thinking about maybe taking it off his list. Unless it picks up a little more. It is a pace, looks like it's kind of a paced game here. But, but you got essentially what eBay at least dictates is a $180 game with manual and I guess maybe soundtrack and all. So it's weird, If you're going to sell games, I guess sell them. If you're going to sell them for whatever is quote unquote worth, then do that. But make sure you know what you're doing. I'm glad this person didn't know. Because I've never owned it. I'm not paying $180 for this thing. So, but, you got other games that are worth a fraction of what this thing was, and you sold it to me for $5. So, I guess if you're going to do that kind of stuff, do your research. And also, the stuff that isn't really worth that, do your research on it as well. Anyway, that was kind of a a slight rant on it. But that's how it was. So that's kind of cool. You never know. You never know. We watch videos all the time about people in other states finding stuff, and like, man, we don't ever find anything here in Tennessee. We live in Tennessee, and there it is. So you may or may not find a rule of rose in a similar situation wherever you are, but keep checking. And you might get lucky, because I never thought we'd find anything like this. I knew you probably found some more stuff than I have over the year, but I know I never found anything like this. So it's kind of cool, just on the one hand. And I'm not interested in really selling it, even if it isn't as good. It looks like it's definitely picking up now. It's definitely, you're looking for clues and stuff. Just getting into that house was kind of a pain. But I found it for $5. I'm not really interested in selling it for $100 even, because it's kind of cool that, I guess, if someone says it's kind of a high commodity kind of thing, I found it. It's a story, so that's into that. But so anyway, where are we at here? I'm over here talking.
I'm at the rear stairway right now.
So
it's funny because I do have this on my list because anybody's interested to know, PS2 is actually my favorite system. It's a system that I played more than any, and so I'm pretty much any game that looks cool. I pretty much said I'm gonna try to pick up. And I think I got over 200 games right now on the PS2, and I've got some pretty obscure ones like Robot Alchemic Drive is one. Speaking of survival horrors, Haunting Ground and Kuan are two more that.
So that's a couple that you could probably bring by one day and play some of those. That's another. The Haunting Ground's another one with a dog. I thought there'd be more dog in this. I know we're at the beginning, but I thought there'd be more dog.
But the thing is, though, is I've asked myself, am I a true collector or not? Because true collectors, they want to go for a complete set. I'm sorry, I don't want all the Maddens. I don't want all the sports games. What I want is games that I know down the line when I look at it, I'm like, yeah, at some point I want to play that. I still won't be able to play all these PS2 games like God.
Well, I've said this to you before. You've said this before, and every time I always mention it to you. A true collector doesn't mean a completionist. I want every N64 game in box. I want every NES game in box. I want every one of them even out, loose. That's not what it is. I mean, Happy Console Gamer, he's a guy on YouTube here and he talks about it all the time. He says, look, I am a collector. I love games. Everything you see behind me is nowhere near a complete collection of any system. Point at it, no, any of them. But everything behind me, I love, I have played, and have a story because he's nostalgic to some degree in his youth. So, it's funny, every time you say this, I always have to go, now, wait. You keep saying I'm not a true collector, quote unquote true. That doesn't mean true collector, because what you're saying right here to most people is a collector. The way I see it, you're a collector if you collect something, play it, and then don't get rid of it. A game that you like, and you're like, I want to keep it. A book, it doesn't even have to be games. It's like, okay, a book. I like books. I like Stephen King books. I'm a fan of him, or Clive Barker, or anybody like that. I put it on the shelf, read it, put it on the shelf so I can either read it again later. Some people that don't understand that would say, hey, why do you keep that? You've already read it. Because I'm a fan, so if anybody comes over and goes, oh, you must be a fan of Stephen King. Yeah. And then you might have a conversation, stimulate out of that and go, oh, man, it was great. I like the movie. I haven't seen the book, and you can go into conversations like that. So I see you. Yes, anybody that delves into something fanatically. You said you have 200 titles. You still have those 200 titles for for a reason. So I mean, you either like to play it, want to play it, or what have you. So, that's a collector. That's a true collector. That's just somebody that tries to go way out, and get everything mint or whatever. That's fanatical. No, that's what a fan. That's what fans are. Is I mean, it's fanatical. That's what where its root is. But there are some people that really, really, really do. And see, I believe that's a choice. I believe that's a conscious, clearly, obviously, a choice. But they're determined. So it's like, in my opinion, well, this might sound weird, but if you're an athlete and you say, if you're a football player and you're a corner, you say, I want to get, 10 interceptions this season. That's probably not going to happen, but that's a goal. So that's all I see is those people going, and that's hard. So versus paying a lot of money to get 10 interceptions in that year, you're now looking at somebody that's equivalent to go, well, I'd like to get all boxed Genesis games. That's going to take a lot longer than a year, but it's going to take a lot. But instead of hard work and determination, it's going to take money and due diligence and trying to trade on forums and stuff like that. So that's why I see those people. Is it just they've decided that they really, really, truly want to. They've decided in their mind that I want to go for a complete blank, and they know it's going to take some time. Like John Hancock, that's on Metal Jesus Rocks' channel. We talk about him all the time, and I mean, also it helps if you started early before the craze happened, which certainly helps. But no, I mean, I think you're a true collector. Anybody that does anything, if you still have your baseball cards or whatever, and you like them,
well,
you may not have every Topps baseball card 1989 to 94, but
here's where I differ from some collectors is you have basically got me back into getting video games because I came over and saw you had like Sega Saturn, all these cool consoles I didn't have when I was a kid. So I was like, you know what, I'd like to get a Sega Saturn and get as many games as I can on that. And then like I said, PS2 was my favorite and everything. But the way I see it is just like I have a huge movie collection as well. If I turn around and I buy, let's say, a movie that I don't like anymore, I watch it, revisit it, I don't like anymore, because it's not worth crap or whatever, I might go and get credit for it at a trade-in place, or, I might put it on eBay for like, $6-7 or whatever. I don't have a problem with that, but because the video game craze is just at its peak right now, and titles like this are worth $100, $200, that people are like, even if you don't like it, they're not going to get rid of it because they're like, oh well, it's my mantelpiece pretty much, and that's what I'm saying. It's like to me, mantelpieces, things to show off, would be like a collection or whatever if you had all the titles. But to me, it'd be like movie posters or standees, or if you got like rare toys or anything, like if you got like an arcade cabinet would be something that I'd be like, hey man, check this out, But it's just, like I said, it's because these things are worth, like, some of these games are worth the amount of money, that's why people are keeping them now. And it's like, well, to me, I'm still in the mode of when we first started. It's like, I want to get games that I think look cool, but I don't want to pay $100, $200 for them, because back when it first started, we weren't paying that much. So like I said, so that's where I'm a different collector, I guess, than some people, is I just, like I said, well, right. To me, it's always like, because I mentioned that I'm going to keep this game, and I look at it this way. This is the perspective I see it on. I may not play it much after this. I may play it all the time. It's up to me. But just like a movie that I may not like anymore, or I decide I may not like anymore, and I sell it. 5 years down the line, I turn around and I see it on TV and go, God damn, Blade, Like, here's an example. I just said Blade. I owned Blade 1 and 2, and I hated Blade 3. Blade Trinity. So ultimately, because I am one of these weirdos that's like, God, I gotta have all of them. Why did it... Now, if they made a Blade 4 and it was good, I would just omit 3, keep 1 and 2, and have 4, and then count it as 3.
You know what I mean? Certainly, if it didn't really have that much to do, if I could kind of just not, if the story for 3 didn't matter, but it didn't. They made 3 of them, and so I ultimately sold all of them. And then Blade 2 comes around on TV, and I go, God, I'd love to see Blade 2 not edited for television again. I go, shit, I sold it. Damn it. Now I'll make a decision if I want to go back out there and get it, or if I had the kind of the forethought or whatever to think later down the line, instead of being kind of weird and being like, well, 3rd one sucks, so I got to get rid of them all, then I'd still be able to see it now. So that's kind of the mentality I have for anything. Let's say if I turn around and say I want to keep this, and then someday down the line somebody says, man, you ever heard about this Rule Rose? I'm like, yeah, I remember it. It was all right. And it's like, it's funny though. I'd like to play it again. It's like, well, I'm not now because I sold it and I'm not paying $180 for it. So that's where my perspective comes from on that, is that I'll keep it around, and if one day I decide that I do want to play it again, there it is. I don't have to pay a dime. So, because sometimes that happens. I've experienced that more than not in movies. But I mean, there's like Contra. I don't know why I still don't have Contra to this day. I have Super Contra and or not Super Super C. And I played Contra forever when I was a kid, and had plenty of opportunity when we started collecting. At least I started collecting again. It was probably $10, but I was like, I don't want to pay $10 for Contra. Now look at me. What is it, 35, something like that? I mean, I'm like, and I don't want to do that right now. One day I probably will, but I don't want to do that right now. And if I would have bought it then, even if I didn't want to play it, I would have had Contra right now. So. But yeah, I mean, but I guess kind of the point is there's no right or wrong, or one way is better than another as far as collecting things or doing what you want to do. That's the cool thing about it. Oh, there's a kid again. That's the cool thing about it, is that it's your money. You do what you want to. You sell it. You pay a certain amount of money for it to own it. And, that's the way it is. And no one can tell you otherwise. But I just got through buying a whole bunch of, because I got a Japanese PlayStation 2 coming my way, and I just bought a bunch of PlayStation 2 fighters, like 2D fighters and so forth like that, which look pretty cool, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I paid around $35 for one, and paid maybe around $20-something for another one, and paid about, so around that, from $10 to $30-something or whatever. And one could turn around and say, man, why would you pay $35 for a game on PlayStation 2? Well, somebody outbid me. I decided, I was looking at it. I do my research. I look on YouTube, see if I was like, well, it looks like a good game and this, and it looks fun, and I'd like to have it. And I got this channel now, so I'm playing on here, And so why not? And I did it. I have the opportunity and the funds to do it right now, so I'm going to do it. And for anybody that says, I don't understand, well, that's cool. I'm sure there's something you did earlier that support in your life that I didn't understand either. So that's just the way things go. So anyway, as far as the game goes here, what have we done? Have we found any new items? What have we done?
All I'm doing is just running through here, seeing these little damn kids behind the doors. Finally made my way up to the attic. I think I've already been through here. No, that's not. And then it goes back to the hallway, so that's not right. So I'll get out of this.
Is there any clue on what you need to do or find?
Like I said, I'm just running through hallways. And
what do you have still in inventory? Nothing?
Same stuff that I had at the beginning. Dog collar, and I've used the
yeah, well, that's what I'm asking, what you have left.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Seriously, like, since we've been talking, I've seriously just been going through hallways. And...
well, I'm assuming you got to find the dog at some point. There's a dog in the cut scene. I thought the kid had a dog. In the back of the box, there's a dog. Maybe it's not with him. Maybe the dog is the bad guy, because I had the chalk. No, there's a screenshot on the back that shows the dog with you. So that's seemingly what the next thing to do would be find the dog. Barry or whatever. What was the name on it? Barker? Something like that?
Here we go. One of his laboratories in the area.
Oh, have you not been in here?
full toilet paper. Many bulging sacks are piled up in a heap. It smells awful. Okay.
Something in the stall, I guarantee it.
Dirty towels hung on the railing. Yeah, I can see something right there.
Oh yeah, there's something in there, definitely. There it is.
Look at this, and I can't even look at it. Are you kidding me?
Was anything in that?
You can't open it. Like, you watch this. Okay. That's as far as I'll go.
Cause did you follow the kid up to the attic, right? Was it a kid that you were chasing? Yeah, the kid ran up these stairs.
Oh, I never saw a kid run up the stairs. Like, I guess I went the opposite way.
This is something. I think you're supposed to follow that kid when you first come in.
This is me.
Got a key in there. Oh, all right. So we're gonna save this. We've been running around for a little bit. We're gonna end this particular video right there on the save point. So once again, share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit the like button if you want us to do more of these more often. And I guess we'll see you on the next one.